Thank you, David, for chatting with us today for Farmer Fridays. Would love to start with if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and your farm.
Yeah, you bet. I'm David Lukens. I'm second generation in this little family farm. My parents started it in 1999 as a little goat hobby farm. And so we've just kind of slowly been thrust into the marketplace. We started processing our own goat milk, and here we are, 25 or 26 years later. So I took over the little farm and processing company in 2020. We're located in Custer, Washington, and so the farm today is basically a microgreens chicken farm, and we do have some goats still, but they're more for pet. The main business now is creamery processing of milk, both cow milk and goat milk. And we actually serve about 200 grocery stores in the greater Seattle area. So I've got a team of about 20 full-time employees, and we run a couple delivery trucks every day and just keep the milk flowing.
Awesome. I love it. That's also really interesting background, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, you partner with other farms in the area. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and sort of how it started?
Yeah, so as the farm ourselves grew, we basically outgrew the land that we have. And so we had a great location for a goat farm, but once people started asking for local cow products, cow milk, yogurt, things of that sort, we hit the point where it's like, can we go find a dairy farm and come up with the capital to buy it? But we also were approached about the same time from a small dairyman who was looking to basically be able to ship his milk to an independent creamery. So that's basically the choice we made. I think that was around 2014 or so. And so basically we pivoted a little bit into more of a creamery and processor. We've always enjoyed farming and animals, but sometimes you just can't do everything yourself. So we current day we work with 3 independent cow dairies, some of which bottle their own milk, and then we buy their excess so that they don't have any waste. And then we have a dedicated goat dairy that's independent, but every drop of milk she produces, we purchase, and that's worked out really good for us. So we basically work with, for sure, 4 dairies, sometimes a 5th that rely on us. And then if we need extra milk, we'll reach out to our local dairy farm and co-op and be able to balance our milk needs that way.
Very cool. And then am I correct that you guys also have like a commercial kitchen or shared like processing space as well?
Yeah, we have a shared processing space. One of the local dairies, they're actually part of the co-op, but they wanted to launch some yogurt, and so she approached me and she said, hey, I know it's weird asking you about making yogurt because it's kind of a competition product to yours. I said, it's not really. I mean, they're doing a different style. It's a Skyr yogurt, so it's strained. It's a different culture. So anyway, long story short, we basically said, hey, we have the space. Why don't you guys just rent a spot in our creamery? We've got all the equipment. They've got to get licensed under their own license, but it's something that has been really good for us, and basically just to collaborate and share some time together and help them get to market as well. Because in this neck of the woods up here in Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of microbreweries in the beer world, and they all collaborate together. And so ultimately, we basically want to take that model and say, if we work together, we're stronger than just being completely separate and closed off to each other.
I really love that mindset. And like it's cool to see like in real life benefits of like teaming up and working together. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. What about any plans for the next 6 to 12 months? Like any priorities?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of plans. There's the normal business struggles. I was late this morning. One of the reasons I was late is one of our distributors that we sell into. Well, we do most of our own deliveries, but we have got a couple distributors that we work with, is having some problems. So there's ongoing business stuff all the time. So it's like, late paying, got to make payroll, all the fun stuff. But aside from the business problems, our plans for the next basically 6 to 12 months is to build out our facility so that we can get up to SQF certification for food. We've got a lot of opportunities and connections that I think will really help us grow essentially. And so working with Lasso, you guys have been great. We've applied for a couple of grants. If they land, it's going to be super awesome. If they don't land, we're still going to slowly keep growing and keep improving. One of the models that I really do appreciate is continuous improvement, and it's basically based off of the Toyota production system, where you just every day you want to continue to improve your process, you improve yourself. And so that's the team culture that we have here. So ultimately, you know, especially in the food world, we want to get better and better at it. We want to be able to feed more people, and we want to be able to support farms along the way.
I love that. We have a value here at Lasso about feedback, and it's something that's really important. And I totally agree. Like if everybody focuses on getting 1% better each day, like at scale, it makes a huge difference. So I love that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned those grants. What would, because we have some producers come to us and they've, you know, they're newer to grant writing. Is there anything you would share with producers who are newer to the grant writing process? Any insights or tips?
I mean, insight and tips is basically work with a company like Lasso. Honestly, you guys have made it. We've done grants ourselves over the years, a couple of which we have received. It's very daunting, takes a ton of time. So unless you really enjoy that, I do prefer to work with you guys. I've worked with another grant writer. She was also really great. So ultimately, my tip is apply. You know, there's a little bit of cost in a lot of cases, but apply, because if you can absorb the cost, whether you get it or not, you know, it is what it is. But if you get it, it really could excel you forward. Now, granted, you have to have plans. You got to use the equipment or the funds that you do. You know, you got to use them appropriately. But it's really helped us. I mean, ultimately. So just number wise, when I took over the business from my parents in 2020. We've almost tripled since then, and a big portion of that has been through grant funds and purchasing equipment with grant funds. And so, you know, getting every dime back from the government we can legally is ultimately what businesses and farmers should do. And one cautionary piece of advice, though, is be ready for a tax bill on your grant funds, because they do tax you as unearned income. And so you want to make sure that you keep that in mind, because at the end of the year, it's a little bit shocking when they say, oh, yeah, you owe us money back. You know, it's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first off, that's remarkable growth since you took over in 2020. And then, yes, I think that's a good word to the wise. Another thing that we tell people is most grants are also reimbursement funds. So you have to be ready to pay out of pocket and then be paid back, because some people think that they might just be getting the funds directly before they start the project, which is typically not the case.
Yep, that is definitely key.
Okay, great. And just last question. I know you've talked or touched a little bit on this, but anything else that you would share about your experience working with us?
Overall, I've been very, very happy. You guys, very easy to communicate with. You've got great people on your team. So, I mean, it's, and for the record, I'm not getting paid to say any of this. But no, it's been awesome. And so I got tied to Lasso because of our local, I think it was Dairy Commission or Washington Dairy Products Commission, basically partnered with you guys and offered one grant free essentially. And so I was like, yeah, sure. You know, I like meeting new companies and see how it goes. But after having applied for several grants, like I mentioned, either on our own or working with other grant writers, so far you guys have been the easiest to work with, streamlined the process the most. And so, I mean, I have nothing negative to say at all.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, David. And fingers crossed on the 2 grants that we're waiting to hear back on. Hopefully we can get those awards and you can continue to grow your business even more.
That's my hope as well.
Awesome. Well, that's it for today. I, again, recorded portions over, but I really, really appreciate your time. Super helpful. What I'll do from here is I'll probably like edit some of the clips, maybe take myself out some of the clips, but we can share them with you, and we'll share them like on our social media and, you know, potentially like on our website, but we can also share them with you in case there's any place that you would want to use them. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well, Molly. We'll be in touch.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.